Hello, and welcome back to the backlog, where Clay is joining me again today to discuss some new TV.
Yes,
Lot of,
sir.
lot of stuff coming out at the moment. It's hard to keep up with it all.
Oh,
Um,
really? For real? This week was a pretty busy week for new releases too. Um, like we got Big Mistakes, which is Dan Levy's new show. The Testaments, which is a Handmaid's Tale sequel. Euphoria
ah,
is coming out on Sunday. Just a bunch of stuff.
Beef is coming out
Beef.
next week.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Yep.
as of recording, it's probably already out by the time this comes out. But we are talking about something very bad is going to happen, which I've kept calling something really bad is going to happen
Oh,
by mistake. Um, and now I want to clear something up first, right? Before we even get into this. People saying that, oh, the Duffer Brothers couldn't stick It's not the Duffer Brothers. The Duffer Brothers produced it. They didn't write it. So let's not the Stranger Things comparisons. That's not a thing, all right?
yeah.
It is really annoying that all the marketing for this is like from the Duffer Brothers, so that if you don't actually look up who wrote it, you know, um, you're gonna assume it's them. But this is a horror series.
I haven't really seen any reviews for this, except I know that Damon Lindelof posted on Instagram that he really liked the show.
Which is
Specifically
interesting.
episode 4, which I don't want to spoil, but that's a very interesting episode.
That makes sense because Damon Lindelof, as you will know if you've seen any of his shows, loves a standalone episode. He loves a standalone episode.
Yeah.
Um, Haley Z. Boston is the showrunner and
Okay.
sole creator. Um, what did you think of this, Clay?
I thought half of it was very mysterious and intriguing. Like I didn't know what was going to happen next, at least for the first 3 episodes. And then the back half was good, but you really get a big exposition dump in the middle of the series, and it's it kind of kills the momentum a little bit, but not too much. I did like this show overall. I There were parts of it that just didn't work for me, but I feel like it did stick the landing.
That's interesting. I've seen a lot of people say similar things that it starts strong and then kind of tapers off. I don't really agree.
Oh.
Um, I kind of found the first three episodes like a real slog to get through. It's like
Mm.
really melodramatic, and the jump scares in this show are so annoying. Like there's like three or four fake out jump scares every episode. And basically the premise is there's these this couple, then the show starts 5 days before their wedding night, um, and then she, meets the family and all that kind of stuff. And it does go into a lot of like stock Netflix isms. I don't know if you got this, but I was getting a lot of Mike Flanagan vibes from this,
Oh yeah.
especially in terms of having a lot of really unlikable rich characters who you want to die. That's kind of the Mike Flanagan thing. It very much reminded me of Fall of the House of Usher in the sense that you had a
Yeah.
lot of characters and it's a very like eat the rich like thing. You got the big matriarch and the patriarch of the family. Um yeah, I thought the dialogue in those first few episodes was really bad. Like the characters are just like they're just flat, like they're just written to be annoying. Especially Portia, like, you
Which
know, like mentally ill, psychotic, infantilized, jealous sister, like cool. I don't she was just irritating to watch and there was no like deeper thing to it. But then as the show went on, not Portia, she always sucked, but some of the characters kind of grew into the show a bit, I think.
yeah.
I always like Rachel. I think she's a strong lead, Camilla Marone. But characters like Jules and Nell, I think they're really poorly written in the first few episodes when it's
Yeah.
like, we like kinky sex and we hate each other. Um, and then, especially with Jules, you get sort of like a peek behind the curtain. And I think his character is probably the strongest of the bunch. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, I can agree with that. What did you think of Nikki?
I think you know what I think of Nikki. We'll get to Nikki. Nikki, but yeah, I mean, there's like a scene in episode 2 where Rachel is like on the phone with Nikki, and she's like, "Your family are being so weird. I think they're gonna kill me." And then he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my God." And for some reason, I just thought of Smiling Friends. And it seemed like a scene that would be on Smiling Friends, where like Charlie and Pim go and do a job, and then they phone the boss, and he's like, it's like I think it was the phone call in the Brazil episode that it reminded me of. Um, I just started bursting out laughing because
Funny.
because it's like I don't know. It's like so self-serious. But like you mentioned, it kind of goes off the rails and it goes completely insane in the second half of the show, which I preferred. It was kind of so bad it's good at times, but I actually
Mhm.
liked it a bit more when it wasn't taking itself so seriously because I already found it quite corny from the start. So, um,
Yeah, I feel like there's certainly two halves to this story. The first half, very mysterious. It kind of reminded me of this movie called Ready or Not, which is
yes.
about, I don't know if you've seen that. It's about a marriage, and this girl is entangled with this rich family who ends up being a cult, and it turns into a bloodbath, much like this series.
Spoilers. I
Yes.
mean, it's the first shot is her in a wedding dress and then the blood coming behind. Um, yeah, no, I've heard that. I've not actually seen Ready or Not, but I've heard that comparison in quite a
Mm.
few reviews. I think if we're going to just stick to talk about the first 3 episodes for the time being, I think my favorite things about those episodes was the direction. They used the POV shots a lot that leave quite like a disarming effect. Really, like really well directed, and I was just like frustrated that I wasn't connecting to the story or the characters or the mystery because it just felt so like aside from the big jump scares which were pretty corny, it was more so the editing, I guess, but like the cinematography and the visuals and some of the direction choices were really really cool. Um,
Yeah.
and I also really liked the big family therapy scene. I think that's in episode 3. That was good. And I think that's like again, Camilla Morone is a great actress and she's great as Rachel, and I think she really carries that scene.
Yeah. The first episode is mostly of them driving and visiting like different like coffee shops and a worn down gas station or truck stop. I mean, it kind of reminded me of I'm Thinking of Ending Things because a lot
Yes.
of it
Yeah.
was in the car, much like the very first sequence of I'm Thinking of Ending Things.
Mm. And there's a lot of stuff that happens in that first episode that you kind of forget about, like
Yeah.
the finding the baby, and then they bring that up in like episode 7. And I'm like, oh yeah, that happened. Like I completely forgot about that. Um, I- the reason I kind of want to stick to talking about the first 3 episodes to start with is because that's really the only ones we can talk about without spoiling, and I feel like we're gonna have to get into spoilers now earlier than usual because episode 4 is quite heavy on content. Um,
Hmm.
so you've been warned. It's coming earlier than usual, but spoilers ahead. Um, I liked episode 4. It's probably like my second or third favorite of the show. But I do definitely get what you and a lot of other people mean. There's like a really extended found footage section at the start, which again I thought it was so corny. The way it's edited and like the little like glitches in it, and
Mm,
the
yeah.
acting of the custard salesman guy was like straight out of a David Lynch movie, which is great, but also like felt so out of place in this show. Um, but I kind of loved it in a so bad it's good way, and I also thought it was like a really bold framing device. And up and I don't know how you feel about this, but I kept thinking when I was watching this, this could have been a 2 hour movie. This could have been a 2 hour movie. And I think
Yeah.
episode four was the only time I really felt like, okay, I can see why this is an episode in a mini series. The rest of this could easily just be a movie. Like cut it down, cut off the like the lesbian affair and like the weird kink stuff and like finding the baby and get rid of all that fluff and make it a 2 hour movie. That episode four was like, okay, this is an episode in its own right and it's doing its own thing. And I think that's what I liked about it.
Yeah, yeah, I appreciated that too. I don't think episode four was my favorite just because it's a huge exposition jump and it's kind of the middle of the road. It sets up the final act of the series, which is the final three episodes, pretty well. But I feel like a lot more was going on in the back half of the series. And in the first half of the series, I liked the mystery and the intriguing um plot where you don't know where it's going next, you know? And I appreciated that. But episode four just kind of like threw everything at you at once and you just, yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. And I think that's a common complaint. But I think, I don't know, I kind of enjoyed getting the answers so early. That kind of threw me off. I was like, oh, okay, we're finding out a lot. And it was sort of finale stuff. And I think from episode four onwards, it was kind of like, I don't know what we're doing. Like I already know more than I feel like I should. And there's still 4 episodes left. Um, and that's also the first time you see the image of the blood coming from the eyes, which that first instance it is creepy as hell and it is really unsettling. And then I
Yeah.
just kind of think by the time the finale comes around, it's kind of lost its impact. Because you've seen it so much in the show already.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
and I like the little twist that the POV character following around it is literally death. Like that is so campy. I love it. Like
Oh yeah. Yeah.
you kind of think, oh, what are these POV shots? Is it like a ghost? Is it like is it a dad? Is it? But no, it's death. It's death. And that is such a cool little twist. And I think that's the elements that I liked the most about this were when it was being campy and it was being over the top and knowingly over the top rather than being self-serious. And I think it's a classic thing that a lot of horror films and series fall into is finding that balance between the two because they kind of want to do both. Um, Actually, Weapons was another thing that came to mind for me. Did you see Weapons?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great
So
movie.
way better than this. The, the episode four really reminded me of, I think it's the second to last chapter of Weapons, where you follow spoilers, you follow the kid's perspective, basically leading up to the events of the movie. And it's like the only part of Weapons I don't really like because it's like you've got all this momentum, and it's like, yeah, we're just going to explain what's happened in the last week for half an hour, and it's like, oh, I don't really feel like I need this, but okay. And that's kind of the vibe I got, from episode four.
Yeah. Yeah. I think episode five is another interesting episode. You get to see Rachel's unraveling and her doubt on this marriage slowly creeping in. I like how she was constantly telling the story on how she
Yeah,
and
that's a great
Nikki,
sequence. Yeah.
yeah, and it's just you can tell her anxiety just gets up every time she tells that story.
And this is what I mean. There's some really visually striking moments. Like that montage is really cool. Um,
Yeah.
the title drop at the start of that episode was cool as well. Where she says the title and then comes up on screen.
Oh yeah, that was a nice touch.
Um, I think the eye contact challenge is like a really cool little scene as well. Like really says a lot about the characters. Um, and yeah, it's like she's great, Camilla Morone. She like gives a lot of information to you through her face, which is the
She
sign of a great
does.
actor. Um, also episode five is where you really start to feel Jules's redemption creeping up on you. Like, actually, he's like one of my favorite characters. Whereas at the start, he's like the loudmouth, brash, like, you know, always butting in to argue. But when he's like confronting Nikki, you're like, yeah, Nikki sucks. You tell him. Oh,
Meanwhile, Portia's just one note throughout the entire series.
which is so frustrating. Why is she even there? Like,
Yeah,
I guess comic relief, but like it doesn't land, and just terrible character, terrible. Um, like I said, straight out of The Fall of the House of Usher, which is not a compliment coming from me. I know some people like that show, but
yeah.
um, if you saw our
We
review,
reviewed it.
yeah, a
Yeah.
couple of years ago, um, were you? Did you like that show? I don't remember.
I probably liked it a little bit more than you, but it wasn't my favorite Mike Flanagan series. That would be the one he did before that about the vampires. Midnight
I never finished that
Mass.
one. I kind of fell off it after like 3 episodes, 3 or 4 episodes. Yeah. Um, I don't know. Hamish Linklater was great in that though. Um,
I feel like you either love or hate Mike Flanagan.
I don't really like him. Anyway, that's nothing to do. It's a whole
Yeah.
whole side tangent. Um, I think we need to talk about Nikki, don't we?
Oh yeah, we probably should.
Nikki is Rachel, the main character's uh, sort of fiance.
Mhm.
He's like the our eyes in character into the family. I think it's pretty effective how they set up the family, and it's like Nikki's like the normal one. He's the nice boy, and the rest of them are crazy. And then you sort of watch more of it, and you're like, ah, actually, he's like, apart from Portia, he's the worst one. Like,
Yep. Yep. He makes the worst decisions, especially at the end.
oh, well, yeah, we'll get to that. I remember thinking in episode 5, like, oh my God, this guy sucks. He's like such a man baby. He is
Mhm.
so like emotionally immature and dependent on Rachel. He is like he's just so whiny, and like when people confront him for like making the wrong decision, he turns it into like a pity party and blames them. Ah, he sucks.
Mhm.
I have no idea why they are together, but it's kind of they kind of try and be like, oh, Rachel hates herself, and that aspect of Rachel's character, I don't think they really fleshed out as much as they could. Obviously,
Yeah.
she's got a lot of trauma, but she just kind of says that she hates herself a couple times, and it's like, okay, like you don't really feel it, you know. Like you watch some characters and you like feel this misery emanating from them, and I don't really get that from Rachel. As much
Yeah.
as I love her performance, I think it's more a direction thing.
It's crazy that she thinks he's her soulmate, up to the very end too. But
Yeah. I really like Zlatko Buric in this. Of course, he was also in Wonder Man. He plays
oh
the
yeah.
Witness. And I love I love his character in this. Like when he meets Rachel at the bar and he stabs her with the fork as revenge, and then he stirs his cocktail with the fork with blood in it. It's like it's crazy. And before that, revealed who he was, that he's like this like supernatural being. I actually thought he was the devil. I thought that's what they were going for. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, me
but
too, actually.
yeah, it's kind of then explained, not explained, but inferred who he is. And outside of episode 4, I think this show does a fairly decent job of not overdoing the exposition, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And I didn't see the ending coming, the twist that Rachel ends up taking his role.
yeah, well, yeah, there's a the last 3 episodes, so much happens, and then that you end up there is like, what the hell? Um, I think yeah, it's cool, isn't it?
It's neat. Yeah.
Because it I guess we'll skip ahead to the ending because I did have some more notes on episode 6 and 7, but um, it it kind of I don't know about you, but when she like dies and um Portia dies and the mother, right? So it's all the ones that aren't with their like true love or whatever. Um,
Mhm.
I kind of thought it was like a really mean ending. I was like, oh, this is like I didn't really sit well with me. And then obviously like she is revived in a different way. Um,
Jules' wife didn't die, did she?
no, they all survived because they were like each other's soulmates, which is kind of sweet. Even though
Yeah.
even though Nell did like have an affair with with
Yeah.
Rachel, like the episode before. But let's forget about that. It's fine. Um, I, this is the thing. I do really like Jules, the actor and the character by the end, but I kind of feel like in those early episodes, his relationship with Nell is like kind of fumbled, and they just don't write it well enough for me to buy that ending of like, oh, but they're the happy family and they deserve to be together. I just nah,
Yeah.
like I don't buy that. Um,
I love that. I love whenever Rachel dies in the snow outside.
mm,
Good stuff.
yeah, this is classic imagery right there. Classic
Yeah.
imagery. Um, I want to give the showrunner credit as well. I think it's impressive that like you can anticipate that something very bad is going to happen for the whole show. You have to make sure that the bad thing is even worse than people expect, and it is. Like 30 people die from blood streaming out of their eyes. And I wrote down during episode 7, question, is this supposed to be funny? Because the amputation scene in episode or is that's the start of episode 8, isn't it? The amputation
Yeah.
scene and then cutting to the party and they hear the screams and they all just carry on. Like, that's a gag. We're doing gags now. Like, and it almost again feels a bit like Weapons, where like in that third act it becomes really farcical and funny. And then I think the one that really got me was the photographer continuing to take photos. The photographer's like horrified when all these
Mhm.
people are dying. He's like, "Oh my God," and he's still taking photos. That was so funny.
Yeah.
Um, and again, that just brings me back to like it should have been a 2.5 hour movie, not a 6 7 hour miniseries. Um,
Was
because
it just me, or was episode 7 mostly in one take? It felt
it
like it
was
was.
the first like 20 minutes, I think, was
Yeah.
before there was a cut, and that was really effective. That was really cool.
Mhm.
I will say I'm pretty desensitized to one take things nowadays. Just so many people are doing it, but that episode was really good. 7, you know, you get a lot of the um, plot lines intersecting, and that was really nice. I had a bit of a not plot hole, but pet peeve where, like, at the end of episode 7, she's like making her drink, and everyone's waiting for her, and she's still in a t-shirt and hoodie. And then at the start of the episode, she's in a wedding. Does she just put the wedding dress on herself in like 2 minutes? Like, or were they waiting like 20 minutes for it to
Yeah.
come? I don't know.
Hmm. I
That
didn't
that
think
was just
about that.
that was just one thing that struck me. I was like, huh. She was in a t-shirt a minute ago. um, Unless she just put it on over her clothes, which I wouldn't blame her the day she'd had. The week
Oh yeah,
she'd had.
true.
Um, I always love like a horror massacre at a party as well, because you can play like really fun, happy music and have that contradict with your horror stuff, and without it feeling like a gimmick. It's like, yeah, this is the music that would be on, and that's cool. Um,
Hmm. Any
well,
cool needle drops in this show that you liked?
oh man, I'm glad you brought that up because I'd kind of forgotten. Um I don't like how much like new indie music they used. Like they
They
used
did.
Getting Killed by Geese, they used Happy Birthday by Black Country New Road. Um and those ones were just like, you're just trying to play to like the cool kids. Like it felt very cynical. Um I did like the use of We Will Not Be Lovers by the Waterboys right at the end. Um
Yeah. Yeah.
that kind of felt like they probably thought of that needle drop while they were pitching it first, and then they're like, "We got to use that song," and then yeah, it kind of feels essential to it. What about you?
No, I was actually going to bring up the geese needle drop,
Yeah,
but yeah. Otherwise, I thought they were fine. They weren't my favorite. I
I
can see where you're coming from.
I think there were too many as well. Like
Yeah.
I thought the score was pretty good, but it was kind of overshadowed. And I usually like songs being used. Like, there's a balance though. Like, it just felt like there was too much, and it kind of took away from the show at times.
Yeah.
You got anything else you wanted to bring up?
Let me just look through my notes here. I like the scene where they were playing with the Ouija board. That was
That's
cool.
see, I've written down that I really disliked that scene.
Oh,
But
really?
that's I've mentioned this in one of our Inside Number Nine videos. If you haven't checked those out, please do. Um, I have a thing about Ouija boards. I Whenever there's a Ouija board, I'm out. I can never take it seriously, especially when they do a demon voice. Ah, and it's like, this one I didn't mind as much because um they kind of poke fun at it and it's not like a super serious Ouija board thing. But whenever there's a Ouija board scene and they expect me to be like scared when they're like doing a scary voice because I'm possessed, it's like, oh, I hate this. It's never good.
Yeah. Yeah. Jennifer Jason Leigh was great too. I really liked her.
Yeah, Jennifer Jason Leigh and Ted Levine as the parents. That was a cool little bit of casting. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Wasn't he Buffalo Bill, right? In Silence of the
Yeah.
Lambs. Yeah, yeah. Um,
And you mentioned the title sequence. I like how on episode one that title sequence comes in after they like right when they get to the cabin after the bulk of the episode.
yeah, it was different points at every episode, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I have issues with the tone. I have issues with like the editing and the stupid jump scares. I had issues with the characters. The performances were all pretty good. Um, I don't think there was anyone in the cast where I was like, "You're doing a bad job." Like everyone was pretty good. I
Yeah.
wasn't my favorite Jennifer Jason Leigh role. Like she's great and everything, but I don't feel like she had much to do. I mean, obviously, like her character's dying, so it's like there isn't much you can really do. But
Yeah.
definitely Rachel, Jules. I thought the guy who played Nicky was really good too, in that sort of like infuriating kind of way. Of course,
Mhm.
there's a few like really high intensity arguments that he has with Rachel in the last couple episodes, which yeah, well done. And then he like comes groveling back at the end. It's made me feel sick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any last thoughts?
No, I will say I like this more than his and her. I don't know if you did. Um,
About the same. I've got it as a 6.5 out of 10. So
okay.
just a notch higher than his and hers.
7.5 for me.
Wow. Wow.
I liked it kind of a lot more than I expected. Um,
Cool. That's the first time we've really like been quite far apart on a rating. That's
I
interesting.
think so. Yeah.
So with beef coming out next week, I think we should do beef next because that'll all drop at
Yeah.
once, right? Um,
hmm
so stay tuned for that. If
And you
you,
mentioned something about July catch up.
yeah, I was thinking maybe in the summer we'll do like a mid-year catch up because there's a few shows that Clay's watched that I haven't yet, and there's one or two that I've watched that I think it'd be good for Clay to get under his belt as well, and we'll do sort of like a quick fire reviews type of episode, kind of podcast style,
Sweet.
of 4 or 5 shows. We'll see what else comes out as well before then. Um, but yeah,
Cool.
Night of the Seven Kingdoms is still leading the pack though for this year for me.
Yep. Me too.
Mm,
Me too.
Gonna be tough to beat.
Jury Duty is a close second. Even
Yeah,
though
that's
that's not really a television show, it's more like reality.
it
But
counts. It counts. Um,
yeah,
I'm gonna have to watch that. I've heard. So a lot of people saying it's better than season one. It's crazy. I really like season one.
I think it might be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, we'll have to find out. Next up is going to be yeah, we'll do beef next, and then we'll get around to some other ones. But let us
Cool.
know what you think of something very bad is going to happen. Do you side more with me, who thought it was kind of mid, or with Clay, who thought it was pretty good but flawed, or do you disagree with us both? We are going to be interested to hear what you have to say. Um, Join us again for some more new TV reviews on the channel. You will also find um, old TV reviews with me and Andrew, and hopefully some more cool stuff coming as well. So, all that to look forward to. Hopefully, we'll catch you again soon.